Right, a very warm welcome to all of you joining this session, and very welcome to all of you for this Performance Max Masterclass that we are hosting for you all today. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, based on the specific time zones that you're all allocated. So today, team, we will now be talking about very meticulous and detailed discussion about how your performance max campaign can actually be optimized, how you can make the best utilization of it, what are the key functionalities, best practices that you can actually incorporate to structure your campaign. But before doing that, I would just quickly like to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Prachi, and I've been associated with the Google AdWords optimization team for almost 5 years now. And I've currently been a part of the GPEC team, primarily taking the in charge of the Performance Max campaign. Along with me, I have my co-facilitator Vinay. Vinay, quickly over to you for the introduction, and then we can take it up for the agenda. Over to you.
Thank you, Prachi. Hi, everyone. My name is Vinay. I've been associated with AdTech Space for 8 plus years in terms of campaign management, troubleshooting, and optimization. Happy to take you through with this session. With that being said, I'll quickly hand it over to Prachi. I'll be seeing you guys on the second half of the session. Over to you, Prachi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vinay, for that quick introduction. All right, team. So now let us quickly deep dive into the agenda for the day, right? Just to have a quick roadmap as to how this entire session is basically going to look like, right? So first and foremost, we'll be having a quick introduction about Performance Max campaign. Now, those who all are very much, conversant of Performance Max campaign, they would obviously know this kind of, technical know-how of how the Performance Max campaign works, but some of us might be beginners to it, so we'll just having a quick walkthrough about its introduction, how the AI functionalities have been integrated with your Performance Max campaign, and how it actually efficiently helps you reach your marketing objectives, right? And then followed by a very illustrative discussion around how you can perform your Performance Max campaign can actually be structured, it can be published, it can be set up for different specific marketing objective that you would want to achieve for your business, be it your online sales, be it your lead generation, be it your omni-channel goals, as well as something that Performance Max campaign can thoroughly optimize its visibility towards, and what are the key functionalities and standard best practices that you would want to inculcate while you're setting up the campaign is something we'll be discussing in detail, followed by the few of the advanced best practices and optimization techniques, and also the insights, which is very crucial in order to understand your Performance Max campaign's evaluation, to analyze how exactly is it performing, what are the assets that are performing for us, what are the specific audiences that are working for us to target, to broaden up our customer base is something we'll be covering. And last but not the least, we'll be having also a very thorough detailed discussion around your feed optimizations and best practices, because this particular session does cover how you can you can optimize your Performance Max campaign for online sales, and we cannot stress enough as to how critical it is to optimize your feed, your shopping feed, when it comes to powering your campaign to enhance its visibility towards the online sales and to achieve that specific goal as well, right? Now, moving with that, we will be now looking a quick overview of your Performance Max campaign. All right. Now, team, over here, let's quickly understand why a specific campaign like a Performance Max campaign is really very crucial, right? Why has it become such an integral part of our digital ecosystem? Why is there so much of buzz around it, right? So, the whole point is the way the customer has been interacting with all of the specific brands of your products and services, or along through that, the kind of purchase decision making, that they have basically been indulging towards is something really very complex and very dynamic, right? So as we all know, how what a paradigm shift the entire digital Google landscape has taken a shape, right? I mean, it's the customer journey is no longer linear. They keep switching from platform to platform, channel to channel, to kind of explore through your specific content, to engage more and more with respect to your products and services of your brands. And then finally it can actually help them to make, or to kind of tap that specific purchasing decision making power of the customers, right? And it's really important for us that we are making sure that we are present at all those specific touch points across the customer journeys, right? And that is where your performance max campaign as a quintessential solution comes into the picture, and that how is something we will be discussing in the further slides. And few of the empirical studies that actually has been conducted shows that it really, 5+ channels are something, or the platforms or the ad formats is something that are used almost by 61% of shoppers over a frame of 48 hours of duration, right? So you can just think about it, like within only the time frame of 2 days, a significant majority of shoppers have actually interacted with your specific brand across at least 5 different specific platforms, or maybe inventories, or maybe devices, right? So obviously this can just include all those typical behaviors that they display, which is your maybe you're scrolling through your social media, streaming through your specific content, or browsing through the information, and searching through whatever content that they would want to look into, right? And now it basically helps you to understand how impulse the shopping behavior has actually grown into, right? I mean, 25% of shoppers, I mean, are something that has been, or probably that have been making the specific purchase decision in a more impulse way, as a result, as they are very much engaged into different set of like engaging with different set of contents and 5 different platforms. It obviously helps them to kind of come through, or probably come across different set of variety of engaging with your brands and services, or the specific products that we would want to purchase, right? And it tends to indicate a very significant growing trend in the unplanned buying behavior during the same holiday season, right? So maybe if people are just they're just scrolling through the content, just maybe for in their leisure, but the kind of the kind of I would say uh, information that they are basically coming across may help them to kind of or fickle the consumer behaviors to a greater extent, to actually direct them to make a specific purchase, right? And that's where your performance max campaign comes into the picture, because it helps you to go ahead and make sure that you are present as a business across all these specific touch points, across all these specific inventories, right? And this performance max campaign, again, with help of your Google AI's functionalities, its capabilities, it helps you to optimize your ads visibility across, ranging from your shopping inventory to your maps and everything covering in between, right? And hence it's really important that we are meeting our specific consumers at the right time, at the right place, with the right message. All right. Now, let us understand to kind of, if you have to just simply put it, right? When you talk about performance max campaign, it's just the, I would say, the one stop solution when with the Google AI capabilities and automations that can actually work together, right? So it's all about leveraging the very nuanced, very sophisticated machine learning capabilities of systems AI, or to understand that algorithm, and to streamline and enhance your advertising efforts across the entire Google landscape, right? Now if you just look at this particular spherical image, right? If you it's basically, you can just think of it as the AI at the core, right? Constantly it's engaged into analyzing your data that you're providing into it, and learning to find the optimal combinations of your audiences that you would want to target, or probably the how to broaden up your customer base with respect to the kind of asset varieties, asset creatives that you've got into the place, and the placements to achieve your specific marketing goals, right? And that's this specific, power lies with the performance max system, because the kind of structure that it has gotten in place with that, and with the AI interventions, it optimizes your visibility towards all these specific channels, helping you to achieve the most, optimal ROI for your specific business, right? So here, I mean, we have just kind of curated some really key benefits, fundamental benefits that you can actually drive out of your performance max campaign, which is you can maximize your customer business goals again, because as I've just previously mentioned, how all your specific, be it your lead generation, be it your offline sales or your online sales, all these specific outcomes can be generated from your performance max campaign. And it's a fully automated campaign. Again, it's heavily relied on AI for multiple, specific fragmentations or optimizations when it comes to driving in more and more potential for your potential customers for your business, or maybe uh, helping you to kind of fine tune your ad creatives to reach the particular people at the right time in the most appropriate way, in the most precise way, right? And it also helps you to operate across the entire Google Ads inventory. It's more visual forward as well, because the kind of assets and, the insights that it basically gives you around your budget strategies, your budget formulations, is something that you can surely have a discussion about with your client, which can help you to strategically plan and structure your campaign with the specific budget strategies. Now, over here, we'll be understanding why do you actually have to, why there is a need for you to actually try the Performance Max campaign, right? I'm sure maybe most of you must be having this question, that we tend to have other set of campaigns in place which are definitely very AI oriented, but then why only specific? Why should we even opt into Performance Max campaign, right? So as we all know how the entire digital landscape is basically being constantly evolving, what kind of dynamic shifts that it's displaying in terms of the customer behavior. And the Performance Max campaign is, again, it's very, it really gets along well to meet those specific dynamic shifts, right? And to kind of evolve itself to the latest trends in your entire digital advertising era. And it basically means that you're always getting access to the most advanced tools and strategies. And agency and practitioners have actually seen remarkable results with the Performance Max campaign year after year through the specific empirical studies and surveys that were conducted, which shows a really impressive uplift of 27% in 2024 alone. And that's the kind of conversion shift that it has actually brought in place. Right now, let us understand how you can, what are the specific steers that you can, or rather the levers that you can actually steer with your Performance Max campaigns, flexibilities and its capabilities, right? So first of all, you can actually go ahead and multiply your customer connections by finding new customers, because, and this again, there are a few technicalities that is associated with this as to how you can leverage your AI optimizations and your Performance Max campaigns capability to unlock new opportunities of customers. We will be discussing in the further slides. And second one, multiply your conversions and conversion value by optimizing for the highest ROAS opportunity. Obviously, the better the reach, the better, the more the outcome might be, because it just helps you to kind of unleash all the opportunities to broaden up its customer base, to advance and increase the reach. And obviously it helps you to have that relevancy in driving your conversions and the conversion value for your business as well. Now multiply your expertise by sharing the insights to answer your questions about your business. Again, I mean, this is also a very specific section that we have also have a dedicated slides towards, as to what are the specific insights that comes handy when you're trying to analyze your Performance Max campaign post the changes that you have done. All right. Now, this basically brings us to a very, very interesting segment where we'll be now deep diving into what are all the specific goals that you can achieve through your Performance Max campaign under different categorization of your marketing objective, right? So, Performance Max campaign, again, it helps you to target and optimize towards all these specific conversion goals that you're you know viewing right in front of you, which covers everything from your online sales to your offline sales, be it your purchases, your new customer acquisitions, or maybe your add to cart, or your shallow conversions, in with respect to your leads, everything from your requesting code to your contact forms. And when it comes to your offline sales as a specific spectrum, all your online or offline store visits is something that system will be able to track for you. It will be able to, you'll be able to optimize through your performance max campaign. Right. And now we will be understanding how you can actually achieve the the customer life cycle goal with respect to your performance max campaign, right? How you can actually uh, attain that specific high value generation, or generate high value conversions for your specific business, right? So first of all, we will be understanding how you can actually uh, you know when we talk about achieving your uh, life cycle or customer life cycle goals, right? It's again, it fragmented into two different ways. One is your new customer acquisition mode, is something that you can again optimize your campaign towards, and second one is retention of your existing customers, right? Or maybe your churn, or bringing back your churned or lapsed customers, right? So expanding on reaching your new customers, again, it helps you to, and performance max campaign tends to have this specific feature called new customer only mode, right? Wherein you just give the campaign the understanding with respect to its audience. You just provide an audience list to the campaign, and maybe you can just give it the understanding that these are the set of customers who have already engaged with my business, who are existing customers of the business. Make sure that you're not really targeting these any longer for my specific business, right? And in that way, the system gets those specific insights and inputs to only bid towards those customers who are completely new to your business. And the advertisers who have utilized this particular feature of your new customer only mode have significantly seen an improvement in their customer acquisition efforts as well. So they have improved their new customer ratio by 13%, while also achieving a very cost effective or reduced acquisition of these new customers by 19%. So this technically just speaks more about how performance max campaign is not just driving conversions, but it also is very deeply indulging towards efficiently acquiring the new customers that your campaign is capable to drive for your business, right? Right. And now we will be here, covering how you can actually, with respect to your performance max campaigns utilization, how you can multiply your conversions and conversion value through your cross channel bidding optimization, right? And this is where your entire AI, or your optimization, your machine algorithm, your machine learning basically shines in maximizing and elevating your specific returns, your outputs. And so if you look at the entire picture that's been displayed here, traditionally the single channel bidding strategies often open operates in silos, right? So they optimize your bids within a specific platform without really broadening up the entire customer journey across different touch points. And the cross channel bidding with the performance max campaign lets you optimize these specific bids way more effectively, because it's looks at the bigger picture. Like it tends to kind of explore beyond the traditional targeting that you have set for your business, in order to drive in the most high value generating, or probably any specific consumer, any specific customers who has the tendency to drive more and more higher value for your business. And so if you look at the entire picture, on the left you can see the single channel bidding, wherein the advertisers is just kind of fishing in the pond in this specific case, right? So it's the case of your Google search, which they might probably be on the verge of catching some kind of valuable conversions for your business. But if you look at the right set of diagram that you see on your slide, it tends to talk about how your cross channel bidding uh, can actually help you to drive in those multiple conversions, right? So the advertiser is just casting his net across a much wider ocean, and covering, having a very very enhanced coverage across your search, your Gmail, your discovery, and everything else. And it shows the chances of catching more and more potential high value conversion that you might have missed with a very single target channel based bidding that you were usually following. And that's how your performance max campaign tends to kind of uncover more and more opportunities with respect to driving in your specific ROI objectives in the most undisputed way, I would say. All right, now how you can actually let's kind of divulge our focus to how you can strategically steer your performance max campaign to achieve the exceptional results for your specific clients, right? So now we all know how performance max campaign tends to utilize the automation capabilities, right? It's also very crucial to understand that the human input is really really very vital and imperative for the campaign to maximize its optimization and effectiveness as well, right? And here are basically some of the key areas that we have highlighted that you can actually I would say invest your strategic influence or your strategic decision makings when it comes to inputting it with the right amount of settings that the campaign needs to perform and function, right? So first and foremost, it's your bidding and advanced goals, right? Make sure that you are your specific conversion goals are assigned or aligned with your specific marketing objective that you would want to achieve for your business, right? Be it your conversion value oriented bid strategy that you would want to generate while you are specifically focusing your campaign towards an online sales based marketing objective, or in case if you would want to just focus towards the leads wherein you don't really have any track of conversions in the past 30 days or maybe in the history, you would obviously want to start the campaign with a very specific focus on, or a systematic focus on volume of conversions first, and then probably focusing on to its efficiency by upgrading it to a revenue oriented bid strategy. And then we have your budgeting, how you can leverage your performance planner and other specific budget related tools and strategies which can help you to formulate your budget strategies and better help you to analyze and forecast your specific ad spend as well. Your measurement and data, make sure that you're using your conversion tracking with the enhanced conversion enabled to it, so that the entire conversion journey can be thoroughly tracked and measured, and the specific real conversions can actually be driven to your specific website. With respect to your creative and feeds, again, the better, as I mentioned, with respect to your AI capabilities and functionalities, the better the variety of your creatives, the more the system will be able to optimize with the different sort of combinations of your asset creatives, right? In order to find the more and more potential customers for your business. So that is something that we will really need to be taken care of while we are setting up your performance max campaign, especially with respect to optimizing your creatives. Insights, again, we have just mentioned, we will be definitely exploring a wide range of insights, how you can identify new and new opportunities and areas for improvement of your performance max campaign, your maybe your audience insights, or maybe your search term insights is something that you can always leverage to understand what are the specific training search queries your PMax campaign can stay on par with, because those are the specific search queries that you can always give your campaign as an additional input based on the search themes, right, in order to drive more and more better results and better ROI for your business. Now we are quickly deep diving into focusing how your while your mechanism of your performance max campaign tends to kind of uh, take the bus, how exactly the power pairing mechanism exactly works. I'm sure most of you must have heard this, and uh, you know like when we are talking about your search spectrum and your performance max campaign, we tend to utilize this specific term a lot, which is your power pairing, right? So what exactly is it, and how does it even help you to achieve your lower funnel objectives, marketing objectives for your PMax, right? So let me just quickly break this down for you all, right? So when we talk about, so when we have a search campaign, right, when it's running with the broad match keywords alongside the smart bidding, is the bidding strategy that your search campaign is running on. And when this specific combination of your search campaign is integrated with your performance max campaign, who has got this extreme capabilities with the AI to drive or to kind of explore different set of inventories to bring you the best conversions, it forms the power pair, right? So it helps you to achieve the specific conversions beyond the existing search queries that your search campaign can just is capable of targeting. It is just goes beyond your keyword based search queries, the search structure, to target your specific potential customers, and it helps you to bring those absolute conversions which are valuable for your business, and hence it really very efficiently helps you to meet that marketing objective, the lower funnel marketing objective for your business, which is to achieve that specific profitable action on your website, which is highly crucial and valuable for your business. All right, with that being said, we will now be quickly moving into how you can exactly start using your Performance Max campaign, right? What are the key fundamentals, very efficient functionalities? What are the specific best practices that you can leverage in order to, set up your Performance Max campaign to its best potential? All right. Now, first and foremost, yours is basically a wide, a step-by-step narrative, or rather a process that we have actually set in order to, kind of simplify the entire understanding of how you can create and manage your performance max campaign. So, first and foremost is selecting your specific goals. As we have mentioned, it's really very crucial to select your specific conversion goals, which are aligned to your marketing objective based on what exactly is a high-quality lead, or what exactly is a high-valued conversion for your business, right? For example, if you're setting up your performance max campaign for a specific, for your lead gen business, right? And so you will have to give the campaign the understanding of what the conversion goals would actually look like, and what exactly is the high qualified lead for your business. Be it your maybe booking your appointment, or rather maybe submitting a specific form, or maybe signing up or for a specific quote or getting a quote. So all these specific, because as we all know that performance max campaign tends to have this outstanding capabilities to optimize towards your multiple conversion goals. Hence it's really important to give that specific understanding to the system by assigning your specific conversion goals in your campaign, right? And then choose your performance max campaign. What exactly would you want to focus on? Determine a specific bid strategy, bid and budget strategies, whether it's the max conversion oriented bid strategy, whether it's a conversion oriented bid strategy or a conversion value oriented bid strategy that you would want to focus on given the kind of nature of your campaign. Choose additional campaign settings again with respect to your audience, your creatives. Your creative, create asset groups and input audience signals for better learning for the AI capabilities to function and to kind of run or optimize your campaign with. And six is adding your extension, which is again optional, right? And what's exactly needed to launch a successful performance max campaign, right? So first and foremost is choosing the right conversion goal and bid strategy, which is because they are just straight away aligned with your directly aligned with your business objectives, right? And determine this correct structure, right, with respect to how effectively you are segmenting your specific campaign into relevant asset groups, and the asset mix is something that you can definitely you know you really need to be cognizant about, because that is where the entire the system would actually take a bit of take a lead on reading the entire data, ramping up quicker on this and giving you the specific results, right? And make sure that the specifications or the entire I would say ratios, or the dimensions of your asset creatives are well taken care of, as we are suggesting in the specific slide. Customize your, and enrich your ads by linking into your GMC feed. And Vinay will be covering in the further slides how efficiently you can optimize your feed, shopping feed when you are running your campaign for your online sales, and make sure you're increasing your presence in your search auctions and ensuring the relevant landing pages and the specific web URLs with respect to leveraging your URL expansion and asset automation again. So you can go ahead, and while you're creating your performance max campaign, it's essential that you're using your final URL expansion as a specific key feature, because it tends to help you to dynamically match your specific user query to the most relevant landing page or the specific content of your website in place, right? So that it can just help you to improve the ad relevance as well, and the experience of your landing page as well. And obviously it helps you to again improve your click-through rate as well, and then your clicks and conversions respectively. Now, secondly, we also have the entire, quick checklist, or rather a cheat sheet that we have provided in place with respect to the best practices and guidelines that you can actually, utilize. You can avail an advantage of while you're creating your asset mix, right? Which is the most key component of your performance max campaign when it talks about reading, or probably reading through the specific signals and driving, or probably reaching out to the potential audiences in the most efficient and optimal way. All right. Now here we will be understanding what are the other set of advanced best practices that you would want to optimize your campaign with. So first and foremost, it's your utilizing your URL expansions and asset automations, right? So let's maybe understand this with an example here, right? So for example, you're basically running your campaign, let's say for maybe your shoes, right? Now this particular you tend to have your product catalog enlisted and under multiple variety of shoes, which has got multiple brands aligned into on each of the categories of shoes, right? And you're, let's say you're running a campaign for specifically for maybe for Asics running shoes, right? And now you are probably having, there's a customer maybe searching for a specific query which says, maybe Asics running shoes, right? Now, if you have your specific final URL expansion turned on, what the system would do is, amongst the entire catalog page, which enlists all your specific categories of your, of your shoes along with its brand, it would just help, it would just go ahead and reveal, or rather help the specific customer to engage with the specific URL, with the specific landing page that only talks about the Asics running shoes. In case if you don't really have your final URL expansion turned on, the system would just take the customer to the specific landing page that tends to cover the generic description, the generic information about all the specific categories of your shoes which are present with your brands. So that is where your asset automation, your URL expansion, I mean, asset automation is again really important to be turned on while you are enabling your URL expansion, because this basically helps you to reflect and change your specific assets of your ad in place on the go based on the specific dynamic user query that we have in place, which can efficiently match the content of your landing page as well. And that is where it's really important for you to turn on your URL expansion in order to improve the click-through rate of your specific ad, right? And when we talk about generating generated assets, again, this is one more very efficient feature wherein you can definitely utilize the power of Google AI's optimization to to very kind of quickly and easily generate and curate the most highly quality assets and images based on the specific themes and prompts that you can just give, and the system would just create all these specific varieties and dimensions of images for your specific business, right? And make sure that you are going ahead and connecting your web to apps. Let's say, for example, if you have a specific uh, you know maybe website which business which tends to have both web and the app properties, make sure that they are linked to each other. And you can also use your specific brand suitability goals. Again, this is also something that will be further enlightening you all in the most detailed way, because there are certain brand safety and suitability protocols that will be taking into consideration to to kind of uh, make sure that your performance max campaign is displayed on the right content, on the right ad placements that you desire it to be. Now, last but not the least, we will be quickly understanding how your search themes and audience signals acts as a very, very crucial additional input and insights while you're running your performance max campaign. So your search themes are just additional insights that you can give to the campaign, that apart from a specific let's say you're running your performance max campaign maybe for your basketball shoes, right? And you or your client are just aware of this additional insights that your basketball shoes, the people who are interested in your basketball shoes are also someone who tends to show interest towards the fashionable sneakers as well. So that is the specific insight as a search theme that can be added to your performance max campaign, so that the system can actually optimize its visibility to the people who are interested in the fashionable sneakers as well. And that is how it will help you to enhance the reach and relevancy of your reach as well. So that is just a couple of best practices that has been enlisted here. You can just take a look and make sure that you're providing those specific search themes to your specific ad group. Audience signals, again, this also adds as a great signal to understand or to give the campaign the understanding as to what set of conversions or what set of people are actually are highly valuable for your business, and it will obviously help to kind of unleash the opportunities and drive in those specific audiences for your business, which tends to generate more and more high ROI opportunities for you. Now, with that being said, I would quickly like to pass it on to Vinay for enlightening us all as to how you can optimize your performance max campaign, or rather structure your PMax campaign for each of the specific marketing objective that you would want to achieve. Over to you, Vinay. Thank you.
Thank you, Prachi, for the detailed explanation in terms of how Performance Max can be, the setup part. And now let's quickly talk about what are the marketing objectives in terms of. Now we know that Performance Max caters to the maximum marketing objectives that we have, be it your sales, be it your leads, and Performance Max just fits in for every marketing objective that we have in place, right? Now, quickly, let's go ahead and understand in terms of how we can start up. When we're specifically talking about best practices around your product title structure, right? Now, let us say if you have a Google Merchant Center account, or you have a feed where you're using certain products to go ahead and optimize, what you can do is you can, based on the category of the specific product, you can first start off with mentioning, let's say, your brand. So if you have a brand value, let's go ahead and utilize that specific brand value so that you're able to catch the user attention with the brand name. And then once the brand is highlighted, based on the product what you're selling, based on the category of the product that you're selling, be it apparel, uh, consumable products, electronics, right? Seasonal products that you have, books. So make sure that you're using the brand, and at the same time, once post that, you can go ahead and use the gender if it is apparel based, or now we can mention the product type, then the attributes. For example, if you can see here on the right hand side of your screen, where we have Ann Taylor, which is a brand, and again they're selling women's sweater, which is again we are highlighting the gender, that it is made for women, and at the same time this sweater, which is the product type and attribute black, right? And the size, color, size, material is also mentioned here, which is size 6. So we can use this as a best practices to ensure that this is something which you're following when you're going ahead and talking about your product title structure, or your when you're setting up the title of your product in your Google Merchant Center or any product feed. You can go ahead and use these formats, and you can also use this for to scale on your product type and generic terms. So you can scale on search and scale for shopping as well. And let's now quickly go ahead and talk about how Performance Max can help you achieve lead in terms of when we're talking about lead generation, right? Now, when we're talking about leads, so we have to ensure that Performance Max is not only campaign that you have to run for lead generation. So Performance Max can act as a best complementary for your lead generation campaign, which you already have running in terms of, let's say, your search, your Google Display Ads campaign, Discovery, YouTube. If you're running these campaigns, the Performance Max can be a complementary, and all in all, it can with search and Performance Max, you'll be able to maximize your performance, like Prachi was mentioning about how search and Performance Max are termed to be as a power pay combination of when we're talking about search and Performance Max, right? You can use that by driving more performance through automation, where your search is something which is taking care of your initial the intent based targeting, and whereas Performance Max is able to use the automation and enhance your ads, and at the same time unlock more inventories where you can show potentially show your ads using AI and machine learning there. And you can by driving more performance through you can, as I've mentioned, you can unlock by unlocking cross channel and inventory, while you are also at the same time you're meeting your cost per acquisition goals and your return on ad spend goals that you have set. So this is all in all, it can help you achieve your CPA and at the same time achieve your target returns for ROS as well. So make sure that we are always using Performance Max as a complementary campaign to your lead gen campaigns that you have. And in terms of to drive higher quality leads, so we all know that there when we're talking about leads, right, we might get quality of the leads, but we are also at the same time we have to focus on in terms of we get quantity of the leads, but we have to also at the same time we have to focus on the quality of the leads, right? Because if a user is probably filling in a form, for example, and later if I'm let's say I'm selling a car, right? I have a car showroom. I want to make sure that the users are filling in the form, visiting the showroom, and buying the car potentially. That's the end goal. Now, if in terms of this, if the users are not really going ahead and buying uh, a car, even though they're filling the form, that might not be a quality lead. So in order to get the quality lead, what we can do here is to use the enhanced conversion and the conversion value rules that we have, and specifically in terms of Performance Max campaign, where you can use how we can you can specifically use conversion value rules to simplify, allow, uh, provide additional value information based on which is already not which isn't already reflected on your account. So and it can use this to optimize in real time based on those values that you are indicating. For example, let's say there is an audience list which I have, which has got a higher potentiality, that I know that if any specific user from this audience list that I have, first party data that I have, right, if the user is going ahead and filling in a form, then there are higher chances that they're going to likelihood of probably visiting a showroom, right? In that case, what I can do is I can use this audience list and mention that, and select a value. I can assign more value towards this particular audience list. Then Performance Max will now know that this is something which they can prioritize on, right? And same goes in terms of location as well. So you can adjust values for conversions from a specific locations with conversion value rules for geolocation that we have. If you feel that there is a specific location in which you have higher businesses, or if an ad is being shown in a specific geolocation, there are higher chances of this particular audience uh, probably making a conversion, right? In that case, and at the same time adding more value to your conversion. So this is something which you can go ahead and utilize in terms of geolocation, and in same in terms of the device as well. So you can adjust values for the users who are converting from different devices. For example, if the user is probably using mobile phone or or a computer, right? So based on your historical data, see which device is more in line when you also look back towards the users who have probably filled in a form and then made in a purchase. So probably you can look back all these three different aspects to see where exactly the users are coming from, and accordingly assign the conversion value. So Performance Max can go ahead and optimize for a higher quality leads as well. Now let's quickly talk about how Performance Max can help you achieve your store goals, right? Performance Max for store goals is basically, it will help you in the first place basing using the AI and the machine learning. It will first ensure that you're uh, reaching out to the right person. It is optimizing your reach for consumers who are most likely to visit your business based on the kind of intent that has been shown in the keyword, and based on the previous behavior. It is most likely to show your ad to a specific user based if who are more likely to visit your business. And at the same time, it is making sure when it is showing this to the right person, it is also making sure that it is showing at the right time, right, based on the user intent that I have that I was speaking about, right? So, and at the same time, distance to your business is also considering the distance to your business. For example, if let's say I'm searching for a coffee shop near me, like in terms of that, if there are high likely chances that I'll go to the nearest coffee shop based on the reviews, based on the images that have been added, based on the videos that have been added, I'll be probably looking for the closest and nearest coffee shop near, right? So that's where your Performance Max for store goals, objectives, and AI and machine learning comes into the picture, where it is using the right person, and at the same time it is using the right message to showcase that to that specific user based on your standard assets, and at the same time optimizing to for store goals only, right? And then in terms of your either showcasing your contacts or direction to the store, and at the same time it is using the right platform to showcase Google platforms to showcase this helping you get that incremental reach to the existing campaigns, right? So there are these three key strategies that you can focus on when you're using store goals objective. Your Performance Max can support your to maximize the traffic on all the locations, and wherever you, let's say if you have business in multiple locations, it can help you maximize traffic across all locations. However, we have to at the same time make sure that we are supporting the specific locations where we want to drive more traffic to, right? If there is a specific location that we know which is very crucial for our business, and this at the point of time it is very crucial for our business, so you can use that Performance Max campaign where it is utilizing the AI and at the same time machine learning to go ahead and optimize accordingly, right? So this is how we can go ahead and optimize using Performance Max for store goals, and it can also help you drive visits through the product showcasing as well. And in terms of maximizing traffic across all your all locations, you can probably look at this way that if you need to drive store visits to your offline customers, because the offline customers are more valuable to you, right? If let's say there is a specific product that I'm only selling offline, right? I'm not really ensuring that this particular product which is more valuable, or the products which are more valuable, you're more comfortable selling this product on offline rather than online, right? If that is the case, you can use this as a one of the selling points, and at the same time see your annual sale. If let's say there is an annual sale coming up, right, and your store is providing a sale uh, to the specific users, or let's say the returning customers or anything, or let's say the seasonality based annual sale which is coming up. Now you can go ahead and use that. You can use that as an option to go ahead and maximize the traffic across all the locations that you have. And at the same time, you can also use see what you can do to drive offline visits and sales at the same time. So probably apart from the sale which is here, we can also introduce something new and uniqueness to your product and the way you're selling this particular product, right? What are the benefits that the users are getting if they're visiting your store? What is the better experience that you're providing if the users are visiting your stores. So that is something you can use to drive offline visits and at the same time sales as well. Now, in terms of performance max, let's quickly talk about performance max for online sales. Now, when we're talking about online sales, we are obviously we want to ensure that we are focusing on the maximum number of sale which is happening online, right? Previously we had, as we know, we had shopping campaigns which helped you specifically towards your online sales, which is continuing to do so. Whereas in terms of smart shopping campaign, because we're comparing the AI capabilities and machine learning, where smart shopping, where we had the inventory options which was only showcased on search, display, and your Gmail, right, maps. In terms of now, in terms of the inventory options, when we are unlocking performance max, when we're using performance max, we see that we get new features for performance max, where you're able to use the dynamic search as with final URL expansion. In terms of when you're also have discovery, where you unlock the inventory, where you're able to showcase your ads on Google Discovery, and you have YouTube in-stream ads, which is also available. And at the same time, you with Performance Max, you also unlock the maps as well, which we were talking about your offline, and at the same time, during, if you have online and offline both, that you can use that combination as well. And in terms of formats, as you can see here, which is in terms of new that you're getting, except for the regular search, display, and the options that were highlighted here, you get, as I've mentioned, you get in-stream ads and the map pens as well. And in terms of when we're talking about bidding strategy, we also get maximized conversions with optional target CPA. Here, in terms of when we're talking about your smart shopping campaign, where we had maximized conversion with optional return on ad spend, where we are able to target the NCA, which is new customer acquisition there as well. And in terms of control and transparency, here, additional to your smart shopping campaigns, what you get here is in Performance Max, you get audience signals, where you're using your existing first party data and you're optimizing your Performance Max campaign using the additional your first party audiences, be it your customer match list or remarketing list that you have in place. You can use that to go and find the users who are similar to the users that are based on the existing first party data that you are providing. Now, in terms of when we're talking about the sales based best practices, so when we are starting, in terms of when are we starting our campaign becomes very crucial, and especially in terms of when we are talking about your seasonality based sales, or let's say if there is a specific uh, goal based or a duration based campaign that you're launching, or at the same time, let's say if there is something which is you're introducing to your website or uh, your store, right, it is very important to prepare this campaign, since this campaign is purely based on AI and at the same time machine learning. It is very important that you prepare this campaign prior 2 to 3 weeks in advance, so that you are able to utilize the asset group and ensure what are the best available asset group and assets which are performing for you, and at the same time, if needed be, if what are the assets that has to be replaced. These are the checks or experiments that you can do if you're launching your prior in your campaign in advance, than launching the campaign at the very day when the particular sale is going live, or at the same time you're expected to see returns, right? In that case, you can always go ahead and make sure that you're launching, giving the campaign at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance, so that it is able to optimize accordingly based on your CPA goals or based on your ROS goals that you have. And in terms of for short-term sales, which I was talking about, seasonality adjustments, it can help you inform your bid strategy changes you're anticipating in the conversion rates as well. So, and at the same time, you have to prioritize your visual assets, because that is something which will play a very crucial role when we're talking about online sales. Now, even if we talk about impulse buying, right? So your creatives are something which is drawing that or building that inspiration for the specific user to go ahead and buy or take that interest in that particular product, even if they are not really in a stage that they require that product. How your creatives are showcasing that particular product becomes very important, and at the same time making sure that they are you're also making sure that the creatives are well within the Google Ads policy, that they are not really violating any policy. So we have to make sure that we are creating that demand using our creating that importance for this specific user, unlocking that importance, that why they specifically, what is the uniqueness of the product that they offer, and what is the importance of the products that you're selling, right? And you can run your performance max in parallel to your search keyword campaigns, as I've mentioned, which is using that. What we have seen is if advertisers have used performance max campaign with the combination of search keyword campaigns, we've seen that they in terms of the additional reach, they were able to get a better and lower ROI to complement towards the conversion towards your goal. So always a best practice to run your performance max campaign with your search campaign there. And in terms of to drive online sales by engaging all users, you can optimize for, there are two options basically when you're creating a search performance max campaign, where you can either bid higher for your new customers and at the same time bid for your existing customers, which is these are your lapsed users who have made a conversion but at the same time might have not visited your business again for a time, right? These are the lapsed users, so you can also use performance max campaign to target these specific users as well. And in terms of that, so this is something which we has always recommended when we are specifically talking about online sales, right? Where you're also able to target new customers and at the same time focus on the customers who have bought the product in the past from the business. And if your business is towards, let's say, if you're focused on bidding only new customers, that is something which we would uh, that is not recommended. But again, here, if your business need is as such, for example, lead, right? If you We don't really want the user who have already filled in a form to fill the form again, right? Unless there is a different business need for the same user to fill in the form again or to be targeted again. In that case, you can use your only you can bid for only new customers. So the according to the business goal, you can select the, however, the recommend option is to go with the first option, which is bid higher for new customers than for existing customers. And there are three ways to leverage your new customer acquisition. So as you can see here, which is new customer value mode, which is recommended, where we are able to bid for new customers than existing. And then we have new customer with high value optimization mode. What we're doing here is, this is currently in beta. What we're doing here is we are able to bid high for the higher value customers using the conversion value rules. We are able to identify system that they, what are the types of customers who might go ahead and bring more value to the business based on the audience list and geolocations and device that we are talking about. Then we have new customer mode only, where we are able to focus, where here specifically what we're doing is we are focusing on customers who are conversions, and at the same time conversions from new customers only there. Now, how let's talk about how Google identifies new customers using your data and the signals that you share. Right? When if your goal is basically towards, let's say, to your new customer value mode, and then you have new customer high value mode. In this case, what we would recommend is to use customer match list, so that it is able to understand the users who have based on the previous past, based on the first party data that you have shared. It is able to optimize and expand your reach accordingly. Whereas in terms of, let's say, if you're using for in terms of you're creating a campaign for new customer value mode only, in this case what you can do is you can use a global site tag, where we are talking about identifying the users based on the cookie. And at the same time, if let's say you want to go ahead and uh, based on your own definition of a new customer with a tag, you can use Google global site tag there. And at the same time, where we are using global site tag, auto detection, customer match list. These are the three or different options that we use to identify the new customers using your data, and this are signals that we have. Right now, let's quickly talk about Performance Max reporting and insights that we have. Now, when we're talking about reporting and insights, it's always, as I've mentioned earlier, and Prachi was also talking about how Performance Max is an AI based and machine learning based campaign where it always, based on what you're inputting to this campaign, that's what you get as an output, right? So always remember, good in and good out, that is what you get. So the better first party data, the better first party data that you're sharing to use in terms of audience signals, the better results that you're going to get. So Performance, as I've mentioned, it uses the automation and deep understanding of the customer behavior as well, in terms of across channels that we have, right? To spot conversion opportunities based on the user behavior, how they are behaving based on the search specific searches that has been done in the previous past. So it learns the inputs that you provide, and at the same time the goals that you have, the values that you're trying to, based on your assets, bets and budgets, and more importantly your audience signals and more. Now, you can use Performance Max insights to bring advertisers with the new data in terms of the insights. So, on the towards the left hand side, where let's say if you're talking about understanding the fluctuations in the performance, right? Where you're running, you can run your daily auctions insights reports to identify the shifts and manually review the change history as well. So you can do so by using the performance shift change history insights reports, where you can see all the data that is where we want to see in terms of the fluctuation, what is causing fluctuation there, right? In terms of troubleshooting, let's say if you want to troubleshoot and you see that there is a drop in the traffic, if and you can use the diagnostics insights tab to see if what is causing this drop in the, if there is any disapproval, if there is something issue with the budget, if there is any issue with the creative or any text that you're using, you can use diagnostics tabs to insights reports to take care of it. Will show you that data. And in terms of creative performance, you can use the asset audience insights report to see how your assets are performing based on in terms of, as Prachi was mentioning here, what kind of assets that we're using. And it is equally important to use the high quality assets, and based on the goal that you have, your assets are also resonating towards that goal. If your goal is sale, make sure that the assets is also talking about sales, right? So importance of the products and why to buy that particular product, right? So your assets insights report can help you with that. In terms of understanding your competitive landscape, you can auction insights can always help you understand where you're standing with in terms of the competition. And when we're talking about understanding the customers, you can use the audience persona insights and the search terms insights reports, where you're able to understand, gather more information on based on to see what kind of users are seeing your ads, right? And where what are the search term insights that this specifically the users are uh, searching in terms of where your when your ads have been seen, right? Based on the search term themes that you can see there. And in terms of growing businesses, we can always use search trends and demand forecasts to see how the if there is a trend change in terms of the search trends or demand forecasts based on the products as well. So you can always use these insights reports to get the max out of your Performance Max campaign. And in terms of explanations, campaign fluctuations, you can always, as you can see here on the screen, always talking about any fluctuation analysis based on it is giving you the data comparison on how it is helping you to achieve a better results. In when you're talking about prioritizing your you can always go ahead and prioritize your customer match list and dynamic remarketing list, especially when you're using the audience signals, and at the same time if you have audience value rules, right? And in terms of, let's say when we're talking about online sales, it is very important to use dynamic remarketing lists, and at the same time using with the combination of your customer match based on what kind of users you want to showcase your ads as, what kind of signals that you want to share in, right? So in terms of audience signals, as I've mentioned, you can make sure that you are adding your dynamic remarketing and customer match list as your audience signals, so that you can use that as an to tag around your past buyers less more, and they which are likely to convert, right? And at the same time, in terms of if your goal is to, if a user is an in market and you're running an apparel, then you can multiply the value in terms of, you can in audience value rules, you can multiply the value by 1.5 or based on the goals that you have. Or at the same time, when we are talking about new customer acquisition sales, right, you can, let's say if a specific user is making a new customer is making us acquisition, or this, you're getting a new customer acquisition, then that you can add more $30 more than the existing customers. So it will, campaign can accordingly go ahead and optimize towards acquiring new customer acquisition there. And when we're talking about brand safety and suitability controls, where you, as you can see here, we have at the account level, you have inventory modes where you can get a control over that part, and in terms of your content exclusions, which is also available at your account level here, in terms of your digital content labels, content themes, which is again available at your account level. When you're talking about keyword exclusions, you have in other account, this is again available at the account level, where your, it is for your YouTube and Google display ads. Whereas in terms of campaign level, for performance max, you can use something called brand exclusions, right? Wherein let's say if you have a specific brand on which you do not want to showcase your ads on, you can always, instead of adding multiple layers of keywords using that specific brand, you can just exclude that brand, so that you are excluding all the keywords which are coming up with that specific brand, right? So, and at the same time, you have cross property campaign level negatives, where you can use up to 20 lists that you have there. If you have a negative keyword list that you can use in terms of that as well. And when you're talking about topic exclusions, you can also implement that evolve topic at the account level. And at the campaign level, you'd have to, you can reach out to the Google support team, which can help you, assist you with that. And you have placement exclusions again, where you can, as you can see here, with the limits that you have, which now go, which also includes your search partner network sites now. And you have app categories. You cannot specifically exclude a subset of the specific app placement, but you can exclude apps based on the category as well. Now, let's quickly talk about the feed optimizations. Right now, consider your performance max as a funnel itself. Right, let's say if you have 100 products in your total products that you want to show advertise out there, out of those 100 products, there are higher chances, and the practical, if we look at a practical way, there are chances that 95% of the products are getting approved. Right, out of the 95 products that which are getting approved, then there are higher chances that out of these, all these 95 are might not be in stock, right? Let's say then we have, let's around 80 stocks which are in 80 particular SKUs or products which are in stock, and out of these 80 we are probably targeting 60, right? And when we're targeting 60 using a performance max campaign based on the users which are searching, let's say out of your 60 products which are being targeted, there are only 50 products which are getting impressions. And out of 50 products, 45 products are actually getting clicks. So that's how the funnel, shopping funnel, shopping feed funnel, and the you can, that's how you can identify where you have to improvise on, right, in terms of to ensure that your total products are being advertised. That's how you can think of your performance max as a campaign funnel itself, and improvise basing the best practices, which is again highlighted on the right hand side of your screen, which is ensuring that you have the best seller SKUs are always in your feed. And at the same time, using the performance max campaign, you have 100% SKUs of availability or partial between the website and the feed, right? And you can always make sure that you're improvising on the approval rate, minimize the disapprovals as much as you can, or in terms of warnings, if there are any warnings at your merchant center, make sure that is always the priority to take care of. And in terms of always try and make sure that the 100% of SKUs that you have are always in stock, right? And at the same time ensure you have a targeted, you have always have an A and B, uh, create a catch where all as plan B, and at the same time make sure that the feed is always classified and the SKUs are rightly optimized. And if you remember in the previous past, we spoke about the product title improvements, the best practices that you can implement while you're writing your titles, and at the same time, how you're categorizing your titles, and making sure that the competitiveness of the leverage you're using the annotations to make the most out of the sale or of the product when you're showcasing. And if you're managing multiple merchant center accounts, it might be challenging for you. Keep an eye on all those specific merchant centers, right? So what you can definitely do is you can go to the diagnostics page and keep an eye on the overview page. It will give you an over insights about how your what are the action items, that active items that you have, and if there are any disapprovals or warnings as well, you can see that on the a diagnostic space of your merchant center. You can click on product, then diagnostics. It will give you an overview of your merchant center there, and based on that you can accordingly prioritize. And ensure that when you're always checking for when you're creating a Google merchant seat and we're creating a feed, make sure that you're always checking for the dynamic remarketing, and ensure all your stocks, all your products are in stock for consumers to purchase as well. Probably whichever stocks, the products that you're going ahead and advertising for, make sure that they are always in stock. And let's quickly look at the high quality shopping ad. Right, when we're talking about quality of an ad, these are the some best practices that we ensure that this had kind of must haves when we are looking at, or probably when we're talking in terms of the consumer behavior as well, right? We A consumer would always want to see a high quality image of the product that they are probably they intended to buy, right? In terms of which includes the title, where it includes a brand, gender, product type, size, and the color, based on if it is a apparel again. Now add and I can add as much as relevant information using the descriptions, where you have 5,000 character limit in terms of description, where in your Google Merchant Seat you can leverage that to add as much as relevant information possible towards your product, and add relevant keywords info from your landing page as well. And ensure that you're also leveraging towards your price as well, where you're using the accurate price, including your taxes and shipping rates if any. And the seller reviews are the game changer in terms of when we're talking about optimizing towards your products, right? So always ensure that you're using the seller reviews as a part of your merchant center campaign or online sales as well. So, with that being said, we have come to the end of the session. I hope you have had a great insights towards the Performance Max campaign. And uh, over to you, Prachi. Please let me know if you want to add anything there.
I think we have were all good here, Vinay. I think we have definitely covered all the very segments very well. So I hope all these specific learnings would really be conducive and fruitful to all of you to run your Performance Max campaign. And with that being said, I think we can disperse now. Thank you so much for joining us, team.